This is Ion Hong Kong with Key.
And this is Harminder, and we'll be discussing the top news for the week involving Hong Kong and China.
Well, so you learned some Cantonese foul language.
Oh yeah, lots of it. The reason for that clip was that this is indicative of the new territories, unfortunately, where these rural strongmen are abusing the land system that's in place. No thanks to the colonial government that set up these rural committees and these small housing policy and on and on and on. And it's not the first time that they've harassed owners of land that they want. And the case of that was the little old lady who was in that clip, Miss Lao Oi Kui, Q-U-I, K-U-I, Kui?
Q.
Okay. Miss Lao, had just won $1.4 million settlement from the guy you saw in that clip, Seung Soi Rural Committee Chairman Hao Chi Kyung, and from property agent Man Chun Sing. And they...
I like the way you
butcher these names, you mean? Yeah, it's in English, so I try to... Yeah, it says man, but that's most likely mun, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So anyways, she just won that settlement. She's just going out for a stroll. This D-bag shows up and, they get into it a little. And all she did was kind of, because the guy was like, doing this gesture to her, she didn't find that very appropriate and just kind of like poked him in the face a little. Right. And he's like, booking, police, I'm calling the police right now. And the police arrested her.
Yes.
Because, of course, well, I guess that's just routine. You arrest for further investigation. Right? They might find nothing and just release her unconditionally. Okay? But the point is that, they dumped construction waste and other types of waste onto her land trying to drive her out.
Right.
They built a swimming pool and a fence around her property. All she wants to do is farm, right? But it's not the first time these psychos that are up there in the new territories do this kind of things. They dump bricks in the middle of the only access road to certain villages.
Right.
They fell trees in sensitive ecological areas. They just think it's their own playground because of the rules that are in place since the colonial era. What are your thoughts?
I'm from the indigenous village.
So you might have more of an insight than I.
Never happened in the island that I was brought up, and the reason.
But where
why
you are now is quite developed now, urban development. So, but this is still talking about the rural farmland areas. Yes, no, maybe.
It's quite right for them to, dump some waste in front of someone's houses, right? And it's becoming very common that what they're doing is it's not right, I would say. It's like
the judge said they were contemptuous of the law, right? And that Hao and Man were in a catch me if you can, if you dare to go after me. Look how he's wearing sunglasses, open shirt. You think he was some Russian gangster walking around there.
I like that. I think a week ago, he made the comments on in front of the camera, at least in front of the camera of Apple Daily. He said something like, "Why you are still farming? You're 90 years old. If you're 90 years old, you're lucky that you're not dead yet." Something like that.
But that's
He's quite mean.
the arrogance of these people.
Oh yeah.
In the Hung Yi Cook type of crowd, you know. Who has the worst attendance record in LegCo? La Wong Fat of the Hung Yi Cook, because they just don't care. They think that they can do whatever they want.
Oh yes,
and the government is so afraid of these people.
Even this guy, Hao Chi-kan, he actually said that I didn't want to do the government job because they begged me to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they really. The small housing policy is ridiculous. It should end. There's not enough land to give it away to these people. And for people who don't know what the small housing policy is, the colonial government signed a deal where it said that each male heir of an existing village house can have a plot for another house. No more than 3 stories, no more than, I think, 2,100 square meters, I'm not sure. In total,
square feet.
Square feet, okay.
Yeah.
But can go 3 floors.
Yes.
So that ends up being 2,100 square feet. And they're allowed that. But the problem is, it's not like they're coming to live. They get the land, they build a house, and then sell it. They're abusing that system. There are people who have emigrated to like Canada and the United Kingdom and whatever. They come back.
They like to go to live in Holland. I don't know why.
Or Holland, it's beautiful. They cash out, they take the money and go back.
Oh.
So it's an abused system.
Well, the reason why they had it because the colonial government had to take the land of these indigenous villagers and.
To build new districts.
I mean, just a long time ago when the colonial government came to Hong Kong and then they have to take over Hong Kong, and then that's why they have this kind of pact with them, because the government wants to, the colonial government wants to develop the land.
Yeah,
that's why.
But there's not enough now.
It's like 100 years ago.
Yeah, no, I think it was the 70s. No, the small housing policy.
No, I mean when the colonial government came to Hong Kong.
There's that policy, and then this small housing policy. I think it was under McLehose that implemented this small housing policy, because they realized there was no more land to develop in Kowloon and Hong Kong Island, so they had to go into the new territories.
Why do they allow these villagers to build the houses in a tall rising building? Why it has to be small? Why only 3
They're
stories?
like, it's our village land, it's our heritage. We need a.
Why don't they just build a really tall building like IFC
put them all in there?
Put all them in.
Shove them into Tun Sui Wai?
Yeah, and then just cut all these benefits.
They're not going to go for it now. It's in the deal, but the government needs to say it's null and void now, or go to court and try to get it overturned or something, right? Because this can't stand forever. And again, these rural chairmen are usually very high-handed and gangsterish in their tactics to harass other people. You know?
Yeah.
I can't imagine the expats that live up there have to deal with them sometimes. The language barrier and everything. Lord. All right, we'll move on to the next story. Nelson Wong. He's a Democratic Party member. And he's apparently the mastermind behind this petition that's going around, encouraging people to sign it to get the pan-Democrats to accept the so-called reform package on the chief executive election. And it's him and Dick Chi Yun, also of the Democratic Party, are facing disciplinary action, but I think Mr. Dick is not an ordinary member or something like that, so he's not as much in trouble. Yeah, Nelson Wong is. Now that he's going to face a disciplinary hearing due to his actions, I mean, Does he not understand that giving legitimacy to such an undemocratic, small circle, it's still small circle, selection of the CE, I dare not call it an election, is giving legitimacy, because once the CE is elected and wants to run his ridiculous policies, the lawmakers try to block it through filibusters or even just not agreeing with his policy, he can say, well, I had the mandate. I have 1 million plus voters saying you're my chief executive, so I expect you to do the job. See, it'll give him legitimacy that he doesn't have now.
Yeah, I think that's the main problem with the pocketing it first. And I can't believe that these so-called pan-democrats, they was advocating people to pocket it first.
Yeah.
I don't understand. They're now calling themselves moderate Democrats.
There's this new group emerging, apparently, that's not with these pan-democrats, not with the so-called far radical Democrats, certainly not with the pro-establishment, but some people say they are pretty much pro-establishment.
Yeah, I think they're pro-establishment.
Ronnie Tong is creating a think tank / I think he's going to start a new party. Not that I have any information, but the way it seems is that he's about to start a new moderate Democrat party outside of the existing ones. So I guess that means he leaves Civic Party, who's a part of now. And he wants to start this. He'll reveal details tomorrow about this new platform / think tank. Because he says that, all communication lines to the central government have been cut. And we want to be the ones that reopen them and have continual dialogue. Well, haven't you been doing that since the handover? And look what we've gotten so far. But their excuse is, these moderates, is like, well, it wouldn't have been this bad if we had just worked with them. Really? We worked with them in 2010, and look at the crappy package they gave us then. Ooh, you get 5 more seats. Ooh. Yeah. Wow, how democratic. And how progressive.
And the functional constituency will continue forever now.
Yeah, it's forever now. No, they're never going.
And even for this new young inspiration, the political group that formed by the netizens, they just had this press conference last Sunday, and then they're aiming to get 1 seat from the super seat as well. And it seems that I thought we've been long time ago saying that we want to abolish the constituency, the functional constituency, but now they're aiming it. I feel kind of weird about it.
First of all, Young Inspiration and any groups like that coming out of the Golden Forums or whatever it is, that's its own tyranny.
But I'm still happy that the young people coming out to run for the election.
Sure, it's great that they're getting involved, no doubt, but they have to also come down from the cloud that they're on, thinking that going into districts, going, "Hi, I'm for democracy. Vote for me." People are going to go, "So? That doesn't matter to me at the district level. That matters to me at the legislative level, because you might want to keep the veto power going."
I would say that actually people have to care about the district council, even to. It's not only about the regional work or the groundwork.
It is, though.
It's not.
That's how you're going to get your votes.
I mean, people should be educated that the district council, they do have an impact on the some
town planning board
issues, because recently when last year when the Umbrella Revolution or the Occupy Central movement was going on, and all these district council, because they're controlled by the pro-establishment councillor, and then they voted that they will say they will just represent the people there in that district, saying that they are against the Occupy. And it means that these people, they would like to manipulate their voters, and then they say that, "Oh, I'm representing you because you voted me in the district council," and then they make some political statements out there.
Sure, they're still making political statements on the other side as well. But for newcomers, they're not going to win votes by saying, "Hi, I'm for democracy." You can ask anybody who's run, and there was an article in the SCMP, they asked them, okay, "Look, we ran for the district council. You need 6 solid years of work before you can actually get somewhere in the district council. I find them more difficult than the legislative council election, to be honest, because you have a wider pool to deal with.
Yeah.
And the district council is like 2,000 votes sometimes, you know? And they're like, no, we want district work.
But at the same time, that the pan-dems, they don't really have the resources to do that too. The only party, the pro-democracy party that had the resources, that would be the Democratic Party.
Yeah, they do have a strong foothold in the district level.
Yeah.
No other one has. I think the Civic Party has like 7. I mean,
yeah,
it's not much at all.
Yeah, and it's nothing at all.
Yeah, ADPL has a few. It's not. They're just not that many.
Yeah, it's been like many years that they said that they will focus on the work in the community, but what they.
You know what they need to do, though? They need to go in there and say, hey, look, all these pro-establishment people have been in the district council for how long? And look at the types of stuff they're approving. A third runway when we don't have the airspace issue cleared first. Noise issues are going to now develop because of it for certain residents over there. They built this, like, I don't know, $10 million giant goose in like Chunwan or something. Have you seen that statue?
No.
It's just a goose. And it costs like millions. And it's ugly. Okay? They're wasting money like that. You got to point stuff like that out and work in the community big time. Then you will get your votes. But then you see silly stuff in the district councils too. I see the same banner for the same topic saying, I did it.
Oh, yeah.
You see that a lot.
Even for like the new MTR station, then these some of these pro-establishment having this banner saying that, oh, they have been fighting for it for 20 years.
Yeah, and now
what?
because of our yeah, well, no, I just saw one in my neighborhood. First, one banner said, look, we rearranged the bus stops. Then another one said, we rearranged the bus stops. And a third one showed up saying, we rearranged the bus stops. Right? I mean, it's crazy, right? But it's the district community work that...
So basically, how the district work is now doing by this district councillor is that trying to claim the credit. The one who do it first, then he will be the one who win.
Well, I don't know if they'll win, right? If they put up their banner first, right? But if they're out there in the community doing community service, stuff like that, they will most likely get a real shot at winning the seat. Not showing up and saying, vote for me, I'm for democracy, or I'm for real democracy, or I'm for real genuine universal suffrage, or whatever the catchphrase is. They have to get realistic.
At first, I think this young inspiration, the netizen group, the political group, that they will aim at some district that are automatically elected by the pro-establishment candidate who will be automatically elected. That's why they go for this district. But now it seems that they're also conflicting with the Democratic Party as well.
Yeah, because as much as they're saying we don't want to step on toes of established districts, the districts that the Democrats want to challenge, they're saying, well, you haven't won and you haven't shown that you might win, so we're going to try as well. Well, that just splits the vote.
Right.
Nobody's going to win.
Right. Yeah, maybe they should think about it twice before they go for it.
How about working in the area for a while, showing that you have a chance? Because I've seen some of these on the street, and their slogans are pretty much the same. Well, you know, you want real change. You know, look at the town planning board. Look what they do. Yada yada yada.
Wow. Well, I think this will be a new thing in the district council election. There will be some interesting news.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be another landslide for the pro-establishment, and the district councilors that are pre-picked by the government. That's all going. They're all about to be abolished. Appointed seats. They're about to be abolished, so the pool is actually much larger now.
So the pro-establishment will take more now?
They already have. They're all pretty much DAB or FTE or something, right? So they'll probably just continue the same way, but some of them are actually worried about their jobs. Like, oh, we just because we were appointed doesn't mean that we were part of the pro-establishment. Like, you're not? The next thing you're going to tell me is that fish ride bicycles. I'm supposed to believe that as well. So it's good that they're getting rid of that, but of course they won't get rid of the functional constituencies. All right, since we got a little time, we'll run through some of these headlines. You got an Apple Watch yet?
Not yet.
Are you going to get one?
No, I'm not.
You're not going to spend $100,000 on an Apple Watch?
I don't wear a watch anyway, so I'm not going to get it. But some people are queuing up outside the IFC Apple store.
Yeah, about 5 people.
Only 5?
It was not a good number.
Really? I thought that people
Nobody's
would like
inspired.
To have a
the reviews are bad. This is like the first gen, the early adopters who like to just try out new gadgets are spending the cash to get one, but it's nothing that's going to make Apple a lot of money.
But before I mean, talking about this kind of techy thing, I think the Liberal Party also did something very interesting, that they are against the refugees here, right? Shouldn't we talk about that too?
Well,
Dominic
Li, once again, he's a Liberal Party member.
Yeah, a lot liberal.
Yeah, very liberal. He comes out and protests against asylum seekers, saying that, they get $3,000 a month and because they can't work.
Yeah.
They also get like $300 worth of free groceries because they can't work. After their applications rejected, they can still stay on here for another 13 months, getting $3,000 a month because they can't work legally. They're working illegally. Well, then call the cops.
Right.
This was the zinger for me. He said, maybe we should stop visa-free access to South Asian countries, especially India, because that's where they seem to come in and overstay their visas. Well, dunce cap, India is the second largest source of tourists right now for Hong Kong. Why? Because we are visa-free. So they're like, hey, we got vacation time. Where should we go? Hey, Hong Kong's visa-free and they have freaking Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy, I want to go to Disneyland.
Oh, yes. My friends working in Disneyland also said that India is the second largest group for the park as well. Yeah. And apart from Dominic Li, Anne Chan also makes some comments about this asylum seeker on her Facebook last week. Because one of the asylum seekers was arrested because of the drug trafficking, and then
do they have a choice?
And
since it can't work.
And then Anne Chan on her Facebook said that today when I read the newspaper and then I saw this again is the asylum seeker. I mean it's just this kind of prejudice among these.
And yet she prances around the Sikh temple with a tree gun looking for votes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know there are asylum seekers that show up to the temple, right?
Yeah.
Right? Your favorite type of crowd. I mean, this is Dominic Li who said that if we give resources to ethnic minorities, that takes away resources from other Hong Kongers. What? Aren't they Hong Kongers too?
Exactly.
You racist. Come on. He's clearly targeting.
I think they are actually the most right-wing people in Hong Kong.
Yeah, because Hong Kong only belongs to people with ethnic Chinese backgrounds, right?
Oh yeah, to them.
Or white people. They're like seriously. The way Chinese sometimes treat white people is like. It's like Hitler saying the Aryan race is God. Nothing tops the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white man. It's the same thing here sometimes. They get reverse racism.
Yes, right? That's true too.
Right? They'll sit next to them on an MTR or a bus, right? They'll kiss their feet because you're so kam leng chaiya, right? But if there's anybody with a slightly darker skin, oh God, that guy's got to be dirty. Or
I don't understand why, but I thought that in summer people like to get tanned. Anyway, I
have a permanent tan.
Yeah, I like to be look like a Thai too. I'm too pale. especially in winter, right?
Oh, the weather's been awful this week. Anyways, I guess, I don't know what the deal is with that guy, but, since he is the final topic that we're talking about, I guess we'll give out the Shame on You award to Dominic Li, since he seems to love us ethnic minorities so much. So, Dominic Li, you have just received the
Shame on you
award from, I'm sure, your brother-in-arms, Dr. Tree Gun. And that's the end of the show, and hopefully we'll have a guest next week. Sometimes, falls through. They schedule to show up, and then last minute something comes up. So it's the way of the game here. Please visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/IONHKpod. Our Twitter, same thing, @IONHKpod. We are still doing our audio podcast. It might be a week behind, but that's kind of an incentive to make you watch the video stream first. So you can still subscribe to us on iTunes there, or go to ionhk.podbean, bean like a jelly bean.com, and I believe that's all the plugging there is to do. Until next week, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.